Before you see some impressions of my training camp here in Fuerteventura, I have some advice for you guys for your next training camp so that it will be a successful training camp. So my first advice is regarding volume. Of course, you're gonna go to a training camp, you want to train as much hours as possible. That's understandable, and I don't want to stop you doing that. If you train 10 hours at home in your regular training, I think it's okay to actually up your training volume by almost 100% so that you end up having 20 hours of training in total for your per week in your training camp. Because I guess most of it will be from cycling, and that's fine. You just don't want to double your run volume in a training camp, because that does much more harm to your body than cycling, of course. For us professionals, a training camp most of the times is just about a change of the place you're gonna train. It's just a different mindset. You have more recovery because you don't have to hassle around with all the everyday routines and stuff like that. For you guys, it's, I think, important to actually set some spikes during the winter time, especially in cycling. Especially if you're from Europe, you're probably limited about the cycling volume. So of course it makes sense to probably do 2 training camps, maybe one in December and one in February, so that you have a little spike regarding the cycling volume. My second advice is focus on 1 or 2 major things. Most of the times for you guys it will be cycling and endurance. So just log easy miles, that's the main thing. You can do a lot of intensity at home, on your text trainer, on Swift, that's not a problem. You can focus on swimming and gym work and running at home as well. That's not the major things you want to do in a training camp in the Southern Hemisphere in winter time. So don't try to do it all. Don't up your volume by 100% in running, swimming and cycling. Don't do sprints, VO2 max, strength sessions, everything in one training camp. Focus on one thing, and I think that most of the times really put a base for a successful year, and then as soon as you have this foundation you can actually start to build your little skyscraper regarding your form for the season. Advice number 3 is actually nutrition. Of course, if you are in a training camp, you want to train more, you probably want to lose weight. Training camp is not the time to lose weight. You just put extra stress on your body, on the immune system. The system is already very busy to recover from the training you're doing, the extra miles you're logging. So therefore, just don't put extra stress on it by trying to just eat salad for lunch and dinner or something like that. That's not a good idea. Then on the other hand, I know from myself that it's very difficult at one point to not just refuel with dessert. So therefore, just try to be smart and don't overfuel yourself, especially on dinner. It also impacts your sleep very negatively. So just, be smart. Don't skip anything, but just don't overdo it. So usually my days are structured with 3 sessions right now, and I have usually one cycling session that's really in the middle of the day. So I just have a little short lunch after the cycling session, which is maybe some oats, something like that, something that's easy to digest, so that you don't have to wait too long with the next session. So my next advice is a pretty simple one. It's just wash your hands, sanitize your hands, especially if you are from Europe and you have your training camp in a hotel like here. A lot of people are on the buffet and they're all touching the spoons and stuff like that, and you never know where they have been with their hands before they actually go to dinner. So I always have this little sanitizer with me, and before I actually start to eat, just clean your hands. It's very helpful. You're gonna avoid probably getting ill, sick, stuff you don't want to have in a training camp. My next advice is about your training partners. Of course, you want to have fun in training camp, and I think that's really the major thing. As long as you have fun, you are not doing anything wrong. At least if it's not just for the first 2 days. So therefore, you need to have training partners that are on your level regarding their fitness and skills. I think that's very important for all of you guys to have the right training partners, because otherwise you constantly feel pushed, you start to try things you can't do, and therefore at the end you're completely wasted and you can't hold the wheel anymore. It's not going to be fun, and it's not going to help your performance for sure. And also for the other guys, it's not nice if they have to wait, or if it's the other way around, if you have to wait all the time. So just have a matching training partner. The last one is monitor data that tells you something about your recovery. For example, HIV data, maybe with the Polar watch, that's pretty easy to do. You're gonna measure these at home for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then you're gonna measure them in training camp, and it tells you a lot about your recovery status, and that's really important, because at the end it's probably better to skip 1 or 2 sessions instead of just forcing them through and then ending up being ill, totally overtrained probably, and then coming home and your immune system is totally over the limit, and then you're gonna be ill for like 2 weeks and the training camp was for nothing. So therefore that's really important to balance training and recovery, and those devices can really help. So yeah, at the end, really the last and but most important tip is just have fun, guys, and enjoy the sun like I do here. And yeah, I wish you all a very successful training camp and a successful season.